Catamenial epilepsy is not a specific type of epilepsy or type of seizure. The term simply refers to a situation for women with epilepsy who are of reproductive age who have seizures in association with their menstrual cycle. Fun! Let's get started. What's up, guys? My name is Shelbie and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about catamenial or catamenial, however you would like to pronounce it, seizures. Like I said, catamenial epilepsy is not actually a specific type of epilepsy or a specific type of seizure. Rather, it's kind of a subgroup that could occur if you have epilepsy. Basically, catamenial epilepsy is an occurrence of a higher rate of seizures in and around your period. It could be slightly before, it could be the first few days of your period, it could also be during ovulation, which is actually quite a lot of time if you think about it. Yay. So the most frequent time for a catamenial seizure to occur is in the first 2 to 3 days prior to your period and into the first 2 to 3 days of your period. So there's like a 6-day period where you are more likely to have a seizure if you have epilepsy, and also, of course, if you're a woman. The second most common time for a catamenial seizure is during ovulation, approximately mid-cycle, while the least common time, but still potential time for a catamenial seizure is the first 2 weeks prior to your period. So that only leaves like a week where you're safe. It's estimated that 30% of women with epilepsy are more vulnerable to having seizures during their period. 30%. And that number only comes from the women who have put in the work to document their seizures during their periods. It's likely that 30% is not even close to the number of women who actually suffer from catamenial seizures. The method at which catamenial seizures is diagnosed is through women making a period as well as seizure diary. So they have to document when their seizure was, as well as when their period is and where in their period they are. So whether it's the first 2 days, their period is going to begin in 3 days, it's during ovulation, anything. So there is a lot of documentation on our side that has to happen in order for us to be correctly diagnosed with catamenial seizures. So it's no surprise that this is not documented well. If you're like me, your period kind of sucks enough without having to take a full documentation of everything that's going on while it's going on. The numbers for catamenial seizure diagnosis is, and I quote, "The current number of seizures to support the occurrence of a catamenial seizure association is twice as many seizures in the few days surrounding menstruation onset," so the few days before your period, "in the 4 days surrounding ovulation, or in the second half of the menstruation cycle compared to the other days of the month." So basically what that is saying is, in order to be diagnosed with catamenial seizures, your seizures have to be twice as many in those given times than any other time of the month. I have mentioned this in my past video of whether or not sex hormones affect seizures, and there is a pretty positive correlation that they probably do. However, I do want to restate that the reason for seizure occurrences in relation to menstruation is thought to be due to the influence of the two main female reproductive hormones, which would be estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, in this case, tends to promote brain excitability, which then leads to a higher occurrence of seizures. While progesterone is thought to protect the brain and reduce brain excitability, which thus lessens the occurrences of seizures. The decline of progesterone that occurs normally in the day prior to your period beginning is likely, but not positively, a major contributor to a higher level of seizures or a higher level of seizure activity in and around your period. We just need that progesterone. While on the other end of the spectrum, the sudden rise in estrogen in the blood and the brain during ovulation around mid-cycle is likely to be promoting seizure occurrence around this time of the month. Now, as a woman with epilepsy who has suffered from seizures around my period, I have a unique interest in how to make this not happen. How do we avoid catamenial seizures? Well, you'll be very excited to know that the very first solution that I found on making catamenial seizures not affect you was to eliminate your period altogether. How does that happen? How can you do that? Well, the first two suggestions were menopause and pregnancy. Obviously, that is not a good solution. You can't just decide to go through menopause, obviously, and for a lot of people, getting pregnant is not something that they want to do willy-nilly. So, not good solutions. You can, however, ask your doctor to put you on a birth control that eliminates your menstrual cycle altogether. The health effects of this kind of medication, in my opinion, a little sketchy. Obviously, as women, our bodies are meant to have a period, and the long-term effects of just completely stopping them altogether, not always great. Some women can do it and not have any negative effects at all. Not every woman can. So I think that kind of birth control is still not a great option. The other two potential solutions were either a higher dose of your anticonvulsant medication that you're already taking for seizures, or a different type of medication that will strengthen what you're already taking and help protect you better around that time of the month from seizures. It was suggested that you speak with your physician and see if there may be a type of medication that you can take only during your period. And that really is something that only your physician will know what's best for you. The other option was being prescribed a natural progesterone. Like increasing your anticonvulsants, this is another thing that you would have to talk to your physician about to see what kind of progesterone he would prescribe you with, what their best thoughts are, what they think is best for you. Because you can't willy-nilly take reproductive hormones and just hope for the best, because there are side effects and there are things that you need to know and things that need to be monitored by a physician. Unfortunately, however, there really is no clear solution to this issue just yet. Since this is an area, like I mentioned prior, that requires so much patient participation, documentation, and a general understanding of the medical situation, the studies for catamenial seizures are very, very limited. The very best starting point, if you think you may be being affected by catamenial seizures, is to speak with your physician and begin documenting seizure activity in relation to your period. Once this information is presented to your physician, they can review it and begin to determine a preventative strategy unique to you and your situation that can maybe help reduce the number of seizures you experience during that time of the month, during your period, during ovulation, before your period, so on. Although I know that a period and seizure diary would be a lot of work, a lot of documentation. However, the payoff could be immense, considering if you really are suffering from catamenial seizures, you can begin a preventative strategy that might end up reducing the number of seizures you have every month. In the end, it would be worth it. I will say, personally, I will actually be going to my neurologist in just a couple of days. This is something that I am planning on speaking to him about. So I will keep you updated on how that goes. I might be, in the next few videos, filling out my own period and seizure diary and just hoping that it can help me. If you are experiencing a higher number of seizures in and around your menstrual cycle or during ovulation, it may be time to go talk to your physician or your neurologist and see if you guys can come up with a plan to reduce the number of seizures that you're experiencing. That is all I have for today. I hope you've gotten something from this video. I hope you were able to learn something. Be empowered to go talk to your doctor and take control of your epilepsy, take control of your catamenial seizures, your potential catamenial seizures, what have you, and just make the best out of a situation that is difficult at best. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. It really, really helps this channel grow, and it really helps me reach more people on YouTube who are also suffering with epilepsy. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!